All right, let's go ahead and make our first project. This is an example of a project. The first thing people will see is the title, the photo, and a description. Down here we have tags regarding this project that you're going to have to add. And if you just press on the plus button, you're going to be brought onto this page. And the first thing we want to do is to give a title, and that's going to be about the company. So company name. And then you can put a dash and talk about exactly what you did. So mine would be a logo and brand design. Okay. The formatting could be different. You could just mention what you did without the company title, especially if the company did not give you permission to share what you did for them. Make sure to clear that up with them before you do this. Next, we're going to add in the skills that are associated with logo and brand design. So graphic design, brand design, visual design, and that's it. Now, the suggestions are from our profile. Those are the things that we kept in earlier. You can add in other stuff. So let's say startup, brand design. There's going to be a bunch of other options, but if you can't see them here, you can just create one yourself. So add it in the design category, and there we have it. You can still go ahead and add more. With projects, there isn't a limit, so you can just go ahead and do as much as you want, but the ones you add first are going to show up immediately on the client side, so bear that in mind. Next, we have the tools. What did you use to make this project happen? Just add that in there. Let's add Framer in there, and I believe that is it. Add Photoshop as well. There we go. Lastly, it's the client. It's going to look for clients on Contra, but a lot of times you can't have that possibility. So if you just type them in, you should be able to see them, but if not, you can just leave it be, not have a client. But let's try. So my client is not on Contra and I can't add them here, but I did mention them above. All right, now we're going to do something called a case study. So you're going to bring the client with you from start to finish, how you went about this project, how you got started, if there's any challenges, any sketches you want to put in there, you can do that immediately. Now I am going to try this because there's a website for this project. So let's try it and see what we get. Let's see if it can import it. Okay, so it's not supported. That's fine. But let me see the supported versions. So if I go to Behance and grab one of my projects, copy that, paste it here. Let's see what that's gonna look like. So there we go. It brought it in from Behance. The name of my project, it matches. Didn't change this that much, but it brought in my image and those with it. And then there's a link for the original project. All right, I'm just gonna hit cancel. Go back to profile. I think we have to start again. Oh, there we go. Change the name. Get rid of the pictures. Okay, let's just do this ourselves. I'm going to start in by adding the photos relevant to this project. So let's click on plus and get ourselves an image. All right, down here, I'm just going to add in a text box so I can start talking about what's going on here. And I'm just going to use ChatGPT real quick just so we don't spend a lot of time from the lesson crafting these things. So write a case study for an app design. Study process, hit enter. Let's do the same thing. A plant tracker app called Plantify. So ChatGPT is just going to give you a nice outline. Of course, it's not going to be exact because the project is different from this. but you can see how it's giving you the basics. And I'm just going to grab this real quick and pretend like we wrote it together just to save time. So general overview of what this whole project is. There's a text here. You can skip the first photo. And cool thing is that you can keep adding stuff to it. Let's say I want a divider. Let's hit enter. Add a divider. Make sure it's on a different line. Hit enter again. Now I can separate everything. Let's add a heading for project goals. And maybe we can do like a little bullet point. Go back here. So let's go with project goals. The first one being build a minimal and modern logo for the Plantify brand. Number 2, design a brand identity that fits well into the startup and agri-tech industry. Third, let's have application mockups ready for developers for test application and deliver final version. All right, so now usually the client gives you project goals. I just wrote these myself. But when you send a contract to your client, and of course prior to that a proposal, you are going to agree on a mutual project goals and you're going to get deadlines for those. So most of the information that you're going to add here can be found in that initial proposal that you sent. So let's assume the stuff I'm writing is from that proposal. We're going to learn about writing proposals in another lesson. So let's do project goals, and then I'm going to add in, hit enter twice to get out of this. Let's add in another image for like the actual logo. There we go. Now I'm going to just type in about the process. I'm going to see if ChatGPT wrote something about that. Okay, you didn't write about logo. I think I didn't add that in there. But let's put in the logo has smooth edges and follows leaf patterns across each letter. The color is rich and when stood against a white background has high contrast for visibility, for better visibility. All right, any other stuff? If you have a sketch of your logo designs, this would be the time to put it. Something inspired you, put that in there. If a client asked you to design a logo like the Airbnb logo, that's something that you do want to mention here because it shows that how you took a very famous logo like that, changed it up a bit and made an awesome logo yourself based off that style. So that's an achievement right there. Sketches, you can add those in there too. If there were multiple versions of a logo that you had to go through with your client, that's something you would want to put in here. A lot of people choose not to put the challenges they face in projects in their case studies because they feel like it makes them look maybe not as competent. But on the contrary, having a lot of challenges and showing how you got through them is a great way for the client to see you as a problem solver. And that's exactly why they're on this platform. They have a problem, which in this case could be a lack of logo, and they want you to solve it, and seeing how you went after all the challenges, you took all the feedbacks and implemented them, that is a huge bonus. So add those over here. I saw that ChatGPT did write some lessons learned. Okay, I'm just going to copy these two and put them in. Let's hit enter, get another text block, paste that. If you double click, you can change your style for the text. Let's clean this up a bit. I'm going to put outcome after lessons learned. There we go. Hit enter again for our other section. And I will add another photo. as the last thing. All right. So there is our case study. There's also image captions. Let's type in finalized logo. Put in here buyer's interface within the application, and then home screen for growers interface. And then I would have to define these two over here. So have application mockups ready for developers. Define growers and buyers when designing the app. All right, so a bunch of stuff like that. Let's hit the next button, which is the preview. Okay, so I'm just going to delete visual design. It's kind of irrelevant. Hit preview. And now it's going to bring me to this place where I get to decide how clients see my project. So over here, you can see that it added that first photo, but that's only because we uploaded them to this project gallery. So if I just change that to this, it's going to switch. You can also add a new photo if you don't want any of that. Get something from Unsplash. Get something from templates, connecting these two. This is not even ready, but I'm just going to go with this one. It looks pretty nice. And here is the project description. So let's just head over here to make things faster. Write a project description for the case study above. Let's see what the maximum is. 160. Write a 150 word project description. There we go. Let's just copy that, put that in there. Oh, it was 160 characters. Let's do that again. 50 character limit project description. There we go. Let's put that in there. And then we can go ahead and publish. And now I have my project. So all the skills, the tools I used, the exact same order that we did. It's all over here. And if the client likes it so far, they can immediately go and get in touch with me. All right. Now, this is where the recommendation part comes in. So you can see the thing popped up above. Did you complete this for a client? If so, you can request recommendation. So the company, the Plantify, who you made this for, their email, and you can just link that to the project to make a stronger case, basically. Let's go to our profile, and there it is. There we go. We also have the option to reorder. If you don't want this to be the first thing people see, you can just click and drag it and move it around. Over here, you can edit or delete. So pretty straightforward. And there we have it. That's how you can make a new project on Contra. Please do this with every project you've done, even if it's a passion project. It really helps showcase your skills to clients, and it just takes a lot of time, but it's definitely worth it. Now that we have some projects, we're going to move on to how we can add services with those projects, and we're going to take a look at that in the next lesson.